What is up, my frosty brethren? My name is Arctic, and today I'm bringing you guys some Destiny gameplay. Today I want to focus on basically balance in the game. I don't have really too much to talk about necessarily all the weapons. There's a couple of things I want to specifically address, but when we're all said and done with this one, I just want to ask you guys a question. I'm going to pose a question to you guys at this one. So I played mostly PvP. I don't necessarily know if people care too much about balance when it comes to PvE unless weapons are inherently like broken and something's not functioning correctly. I think then you see a lot of questions kind of pop up like, hey, why isn't this fixed? Or my ammo's not working, or heavy ammo glitch, whatever the case may be. Most of those things are persistent on PvE from those type of complaints, and I don't typically see too many people saying, hey, nerf this, buff this. When it comes to PvP, however, obviously there are a lot of different opinions. Some of them are consistently the same, but there's a lot of differing opinions on what should be what should be balanced, I should say, in terms of weapons in PvP. Now, for me, I've really only been able to pinpoint across all the weapons that I've used a few outliers that I feel like could definitely change your performance significantly based on how well they perform in PvP, and those weapons are Last Word, Thorn, and at times Red Death. Now there's a couple other ones that I think are also really good. Vex, Mythoclast, I've seen performing pretty well lately. And then varying degrees of like shotguns. Fellwinter's Lie is the one that stands out to most to me. And then outside of that, everything kind of feels about the same. You know, I don't really have, again, I don't really have too many suggestions on what needs to be done. But I do remember a time when Thorn did not feel like it was performing up to snuff. If you guys remember, there was a bug that was in PvP where the dot Mark of the Devourer was actually not doing all the damage that it needed to do. But they also increased, I think, the fire rate a while back. But before that, there was a lot of people feeling like Thorn was very underwhelming. And after fixing the dot and then addressing the weapon's balance, I guess, on skewing it towards a buff, it now feels like it's in this class that is, I don't know if I want to say more in line or maybe a little bit too far from what people's expectations were from it being an exotic. And there's a number of exotics, if we go on the flip side, like Hard Light, at one point Bad Juju, that feel very underwhelming. No Land Beyond is another one that people kind of point at. And in those cases, you know, you kind of hear people like, hey, I want it to perform a little bit better. It's not, I would like to use this exotic. It's an exotic. It's supposed to be a special weapon, and it feels very underwhelming. I have no answers on what is the right call or what necessarily Bungie should do. I can, however, say that when I worked at Edge of Reality and we were doing Loadout, which is a game that you build your own weapons using a lot of unique parts, there was also a lot of discussion around the weapons, because in that case you could build tons and tons and tons and tons of weapons, something like 55 million weapon combinations. There was a lot at one point in the game, and the game's development kind of took an interesting turn. It started off with all the weapons being very, very strong. And then over time, because people were kind of upset because they would die too quickly, there was a big, huge nerf across the board. And then there was like specific weapon combinations that would make certain weapons very good. It's eerily similar to what you guys are experiencing on Destiny, with some of the top tier weapons being tweaked and fine-tuned just a little bit here and there, and performing a lot better in some circumstances than others. And seeing the reaction from players is what's been the most intriguing thing to me about this whole thing, because it's damn near identical. So the question I want to ask you all is, what do you guys think should be done? Should there be specific weapons that are fine-tuned, like Last Word, like Thorn, like Hard Light? Or should there be sweeping broad changes across like specific classes of weapons, like hand cannons, for example, or auto rifles, which is what Bungie did with their last update in weapon balance. I think it was 1.1. They actually addressed the class itself of auto rifles and gave it a big sweeping nerf across the board based on statistics of players that were using it. So, you know, the whole and pulse rifles also received a buff, but the whole auto rifle class itself is just pretty bad right now when it comes to PvP. So again, should they do big sweeping changes, or should it be very finely tuned and focused? What I personally feel like should be done is that a lot of the weapons themselves need to be brought up, and this is what I would use as an indicator, is like time to kill. I feel like a lot more weapons need to have a time to kill that is very similar to the top tier weapons. If Last Word, for example, can kill someone in 0.3 of a second, more things should be pushing towards that 0.3 of a second mark rather than the low end, which I don't know what it is, 1 second, 1.2 seconds or whatever for the low end on some of these weapons. So that's personally my take. It's not necessarily let me change the fire rate on this and do this. It's just about time to kill. And that's how I would go about balancing after experiencing all the things that I did with Loadout and all of the other games I've played across you know, the shooter genre. I would try to match up time to kill as much as I could. So I'm very interested to hear your guys' opinion on weapon balance. I'll be looking down in the comment section on this one. Until the next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Stay frosty.
You've shown your might, Guardian. Well fought.
If you like this video, you should probably click on the one down below. That'll take you to another video. You may like it. A little bit about me. I'm a former pro player. I play PC and console, mostly shooters. I also have a gaming podcast. I do tips and tactics, live gameplays. Check out my Twitch. Also, I work in the industry. Why are you not subscribed?